Welcome to Unboxing Things. We are going to unbox your favorite brands and tell you all about the boxes because that's what we focus on here at Limi. And I'm the co-founder, CEO of Limi. Without further ado, let's see what's in my big mailbox today. It's a big one. Okay, whoa, okay. Ugh. All right, what is it? It's Sonos. Sonos makes incredible wireless speakers for the home, entire systems. You can control it on your phone, all sorts of fun technology. So let's see what they have to say for themselves via unboxing. This is a typical RSC style box. RSC stands for regular slotted container. In layman's terms, it's a boxy box, meaning it's got the flaps, you tape it shut, and that RSC stands in contrast to a mailer style box where you open it more like a pizza box. I'm going to just open it up. There is a little bit of printing on the outside here, but not much. It doesn't have any Sonos branding on it. And before you go, Sonos, what are you doing? Why didn't you brand this box, Sonos? They're shipping expensive speakers, and so maybe they're like, we want these to get to your doorstep and in your home before they get lifted, okay? Even in the nicest neighborhoods, people want their Sonos. So let's see what they've got going on inside. Again, once you open these RSC style flaps, you see the actual package that Sonos has designed. There's a pack slip here, master packing slip, tells me exactly what I ordered. What did I order? A Sonos. And then I'm going to tip this over and take the inner box out. So again, this outer shipper is pretty much just that. It's a shipper. It folds down like this. Very efficient, not that fancy, not super high quality materials, but it gets the job done. So this Sonos speaker is coming in a box that I can tell before I even investigate closer is a litho lamination box. And what that means is that this piece of paper where you see this beautiful graphic of this speaker and it says One, and you see this like really detailed print, this was not printed directly onto the box, but is printed onto a piece of paper that then was laminated to the actual substrate, the corrugated box itself. This is important. It is an entire second process doing lithographic printing, but think of it as just this. Like, it is easier to print really high detail or really graphic print quality onto a piece of paper than it is to do it straight onto a box. I'm gonna bring out a loop. If you don't know what a loop is, photographers use them to look at things, but I got a giant loop. I'm gonna, whoa, look at this fun side. I hadn't even seen this side. Did you see it? I'm gonna use this fun side, take my handy dandy giant loop, and I'm gonna go in. Oh my gosh. You guys, I am seeing so much detail. I can see the way that the ink is laying down in this paper, which is really fundamentally different than how it would lay down on a piece of corrugate. These type of super fine details would just not be possible if they hadn't done the litho box. I think for something like electronics, where precision is what you want to feel, this can create that nice experience. This box is held together by a label that goes over a tab lock. I'm going to open this. The inside of the box is craft, so they invested in the exterior printing. For a brand like Sonos, this box might be sitting on store shelves as well as shipping. We ordered it online, it came directly to us, but Sonos sells at retail. They have different environments, you can see them in stores, and so this box probably does double duty of it comes to me directly and I'm enjoying it, but it also is sitting on store shelves. So the investment into the printing is really going into the exterior. This is an information card. In the molded pulp, it also says Sonos. Oh my gosh. This blows my mind. Sonos is a palindrome. It says Sonos. I was about to turn it around for you because it says Sonos when I look at it in this molded pulp, and then I was turning it around and it still said Sonos my way, and I was like, it's upside down. It's not upside down. It can't be upside down. This is a beautiful piece of molded pulp. It's actually two components that are laminated, glued together, an exterior component that holds my card, and then an interior component that holds the actual speaker. So this is molded as two separate components brought together, and then it's actually glued on the edge. You might be looking at it and be like, why doesn't everyone use molded paper pulp? It's so beautiful. This is also fully recyclable. Great question. Molded paper pulp is an amazing material, but the tooling, the actual metal tooling that it takes to form these components is quite expensive. A brand like Sonos that has good volumes can afford to do this, and it doesn't eat into the product cost, but a lot of smaller brands or even big brands that make products in smaller quantities really can't justify using molded paper pulp, and that's why you don't see it more places. I'm gonna open this card. It's almost like they're messing with me now. This is a flow through because who's to say which way it should open? Who's to say which way you should read the logo? When I do take this out, it has a step-by-step guide that pulls out. And on the back side, there's even more detailed instructions. It directs you online and of course to the app to get more instructions. Then there's this really thin piece of paper, fully recyclable, with important product information. This is regulatory information. I can pretty much guarantee you that the reason that this is such a small piece of paper tucked in here separately is that regulations change, countries change, but I bet that the reason to print these separately from this is that you really need to stay up on new laws, new regulations, new material warnings, etc. So sometimes when you see a brand have two components instead of one and it feels wasteful, they might actually be doing that for the exact reason of reducing waste, because this is a thicker, nicer paper, and ruining these or having to recycle these prematurely would be more wasteful. I'm going to lift this out. It lifts out really easily, and yes, I can then see the second piece of paper pulp. There's a finger grabber, and that cradles the Sonos, and then below is another one where my power cord, and beneath that is a final piece of molded paper pulp, and then I've gotten to the bottom of the box. This assembly is really quite neat. See here that there's room for the power cord, and then there's room for this tray. The Sonos goes on top of here, and then this paper pulp goes on here. This is what this assembly looks like outside of the box. And I'm going to measure how much of an air gap they're leaving the Sonos. It is approximately an inch from the edge of the actual Sonos to the edge of the box. Very little space is wasted here between the Sonos and the outside of the box, and I wouldn't consider that wasted space whatsoever. So much human effort and materials go into each Sonos that it's really important that the packaging does its job. If it fails at that job, any little waste in the packaging was kind of insignificant compared to the waste of an entire Sonos. I like how the Sonos itself is in this kind of non-woven bag. It really creates a gifty feeling, even though I'm sure this component is quite inexpensive. It has a sticker. Stickers are really kind of cute way to close this, as opposed to tape or something else. And the bag just opens, and you can just slide the Sonos right out. This serves the function of protecting it from dust, debris, also scratches. And this isn't just for looks. Like, it does look really cute. It creates a really nice unboxing experience. But again, electronics, dust, debris, moisture could all damage this component before it arrives to you. And this bag is serving a critical function of making sure that the Sonos doesn't rub on the molded paper pulp. Something that I really enjoy about the Sonos packaging is how much of it there isn't. So I'm showing you the molded pulp, the really neat bag that the Sonos is in, but there's a lot of things that you typically get when you order electronics that aren't in here. A lot of little plastic baggies, even the power cord is just sitting there in the molded pulp. It's not wrapped in another bag, It doesn't have a bunch of zip ties on it that you need to cut, or a bunch of extra tape and stickers and plastic components, or clamshells that are in there that you need to cut open. So they're doing a really good job of reducing the amount of packaging that electronics are known for. It's time to roll in the recap. Sonos, doing a lot of innovative things as a company, but let's talk about what I like about their packaging, obviously. First, it's high fidelity. When you buy a speaker, you're imagining that smooth liquid sound hitting your ear, and you want the packaging to represent that same ethos. Well, when you see these beautiful graphics, this high fidelity imagery on the packaging, it's encouraging. It really ripples through your experience or what you're thinking about as it relates to the product. Next, it's engineered. That paper pulp inside, that takes some serious engineering work. There's serious tooling involved and a lot of testing, a lot of making sure that it can handle drops and transit from country to country, to retail to your home, etc. Lots of engineering, especially packaging engineering. And third, it's recyclable. For an electronics brand, I'd really like to give Sonos a shout out for the fact that this and almost everything that you see in the box can just be thrown into your blue bin at home. That makes it easy to recycle and really make sure that nothing aside from the product itself is something that should really stick around. This has been Sonos Unboxed.